Bitcoin is creating some very interesting patterns. On the lower time frame we can see this huge bear flag is forming. We can also see Bitcoin is trading around the CME gap. We have to keep in mind that it's the weekend. I don't expect a lot of volatility, but I will tell you everything about it in this video, what is going to happen for Bitcoin in the next week. So stay tuned and watch this video all the way to the end to be updated about the markets. Slap up that like button and let's dive right into the charts. First I want to have a look at the CME gap. The CME gap is around the $69,259, and like I expected yesterday in my video, I was saying that we'll be trading around this level and eventually we will close this level during the weekend or in the first trading hours of Monday. Bitcoin is consolidating around this level, so I don't expect a lot of volatility on this Sunday, and we can expect that we're going to close this CME gap eventually, and that will be very good because we don't want to leave any CME gaps open, because 9 out of 10 CME gaps tend to close. A CME gap always acts like a magnet, so for instance when we push to the top side during the weekend, we can expect that we're coming back down during the week after the weekend to just close the CME gap. Yeah, if we're going to trade around the CME gap, then we don't have the weird price action. Also, we don't have the fake volatility coming into the market. For the rest of the Sunday, I expect that we're going to see consolidation around this level, and that will be very good. And Bitcoin is also creating this huge bear flag. We can see we dropped down with the big dump of Friday evening. And yeah, we can see consolidation now happening because it's the weekend, but we can also consider this as a bear flag. So we could also experience more downside for Bitcoin in the coming days. Eventually when this bear flag could break to the downside, of course, because the trend is down now. But of course we want to see a break to the top side again, and then we're going to revisit this top side formation, and that will have a bullish effect on the markets. But for now we have to keep in mind that that this bear flag is also in play, and this could have a little bit more bearish effect on the markets. And if we then have a look at the daily time frame, I've been discussing these two scenarios for Bitcoin, and yeah, the bearish scenario was playing out, so we saw a huge reduction of this resistance level, and for now this resistance level is a little bit too strong, but we can see a lot of touch points in the past, and yeah, eventually the more times we touch this certain level, the weaker it gets, because all the liquidity gets grabbed, and a lot of orders are coming into the market right here. So everyone is selling here or trading short. So eventually all these orders and all these shorts are getting weaker and weaker. And what we can expect for Bitcoin in the coming days, we could expect a little bit more downside and come back at this huge support area. And I expect that if we're going to see this support getting reached, that we will see an interaction of this point. And of course we could also we could bounce from this level again back up, or we could see a break below this level, retest this support as resistance, and then we have to be a little bit more bearish because we can come further back down. I expect that we're going to see a higher low because we are in this higher low structure, and that we're going to create a new higher low, revisit this resistance area, and then eventually we will see a break to the top side. And that will be very bullish, and then we also create a new all-time high. That is my game plan for the coming weeks, but we have to keep in mind that we are first need to see a break of this level, and then we have to confirm the breakout, because we also thought that we were going to break this level here, but eventually Bitcoin came a little bit back down, and we closed the candle below this resistance area, so the breakout was not confirmed. So if we're going to see a revisit of this resistance area for Bitcoin, then I expect that we're going to see a break. And yeah, we can see beautiful patterns unfolding for Bitcoin, but yeah, we have to keep in mind that the trend is still up, so I expect that we're just going to see a continuation of the trend, and yeah, eventually we will see a break of the all-time high. And as I was saying, Bitcoin was in this uptrend, and we can see this upward sloping support line is getting respected very beautifully. So yeah, we are currently back at this support area, and we want to see more uptrend for Bitcoin, and eventually this price is getting squeezed into this apex because we can see a lot of resistance on the top side and these support areas on the downside, and eventually yeah, Bitcoin has to pick a side, and there are two scenarios here. We can either way break to the upside, retest the previous resistance as support, and then come further back up, and we can also see a break of the downside. That will be bearish, of course. Then we can retest the previous support as resistance and then come further back down. We don't want to see this scenario playing out, but yeah, keep in mind that this is also a scenario, and you always have to trade in scenarios. Yeah, and we're all waiting for this break of the top side, but with all the buying pressure coming into the market through the Bitcoin ETFs, I expect that we're going to see a break to the top side eventually, and yeah, this could happen in the next week. So this is a very interesting pattern I'm looking at currently. And also this big inverse head and shoulders on the daily time frame, I've been discussing for weeks and weeks now. And yeah, we can see we had a little bit of rejection from this resistance area as I've been talking about. But if we break to the top side eventually, the breakout target of this inverse head and shoulders will be around the $87,000, and that is an insane gain to make after the breakout. But we first have to wait for a confirmation of the breakout, then we have to wait for a retest, and from here you can enter the market in the long and then aim for higher prices. So yeah, this inverse head and shoulders is a bullish bias pattern, and yeah, it always tends to break to the top side. And yeah, we can see the trend is up, so yeah, we can expect more bullishness coming into the market for Bitcoin in the coming days. And a lot of people in my DMs are asking about when is the next alt season going to happen. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, and we can see this pair is in this beautiful falling channel on the weekly time frame. So yeah, from this point we can see that you could have been better in Bitcoin than in Ethereum in your portfolio holdings. That doesn't say that Ethereum is getting cheaper, but it's getting weaker against Bitcoin. Last week we saw a rejection from this point of the topside resistance, and yeah, we can maybe expect that we're coming down to this beautiful support area on the downside. But if we're going to see a break of this falling channel eventually, because this falling channel is a bullish bias pattern, and yeah, it always tends to break to the top side. So if we're going to see a break from this point and a retest of the previous resistance to turn it into support, we can maybe see a new alt season unfolding, because Ethereum will be getting stronger against Bitcoin, and Ethereum is the biggest altcoin, and when Ethereum rises in value, then a lot of altcoins will follow. We can see that in the past. Here we had a beautiful alt season, and then you can see Ethereum was getting a lot more stronger against Bitcoin. But now, yeah, we're in this falling wedge channel, and we have to be a little bit patient for the breakout. But for now, there's no alt season yet, and yeah, if we break to the top side, this could be the ignition of the next alt season. I also want to have a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. We can see this Bitcoin dominance chart had this beautiful support and resistance area. We made this huge rising wedge on a weekly time frame, and yeah, we can see a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the downside as support. And 2 weeks ago we broke down a little bit from this support, and now we are seeing that Bitcoin is making a retest of this level. Yeah, it looks a little bit like that we're going to be inside the formation again, but I expect that we're going to see a little bit of a retest. So we retest the previous support as resistance, and then we can convert it back down. And also here, if the Bitcoin dominance falls, then we can expect a little bit more power to the altcoins, because yeah, the Bitcoin will decrease in value against all the other projects. And just like in the past, we saw when the Bitcoin dominance was falling, then we can see a huge alt season unfolding. So if Bitcoin comes down back to this huge support area, on this way down, we can maybe see a little bit more rise up for the altcoins. And yeah, especially when we're breaking down of this support, then the next alt season will eventually happen. But for now, we have to be a little bit more patient, and this is also the weekly time frame, so it takes a little bit more time. But yeah, we can see this support area was having a lot of touch points in the past as resistance. We can see multiple touch points here, and eventually I expect that we maybe come back down and then have a bounce from this level, because this level hasn't been tested when we broke above it, and we need to see a retest of this formation and then come further back up. So if this chart is coming down, then we will see a rise of altcoins. So I hope you find this video useful. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.